without Curry, without Draymond, they don't have a shot. They don't have a shot. And then when you add in the struggles of Klay Thompson, and we'll get into Klay Thompson and how he looks, and we'll get into Andrew Wiggins and how he looks. Right now, this is not even a play-in team. Oklahoma City is surging. Minnesota is surging. All right? Sacramento is coming with De'Aaron Fox. All right? The Lakers will make a move to get better. Denver's the champs. Right now, man, you're just trying to find a win any way you can, and I don't know when that win is coming, Shasky. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Well, when Steph's not there, you're a team that clearly doesn't have another star. You know, I mean, CP3 is a legend. He's a great player. His resume is unbelievable, but I don't know if he necessarily is a quote-unquote star in the current NBA. And when you watch all of the teams that the Warriors have played this year, multiple stars, multiple guys who on one end can break their guy down and create for themselves or for others. Multiple guys. And the Warriors just don't have that right now. And so I'm not that surprised given how it's played out. It's just tough to watch.
It was all good just a week ago. All good just a week ago after they lost to the Denver Nuggets.
Steph masks so many things.
He does mask so many things.
You know, and I don't want to be prisoner of the moment because if you took the best player off of a lot of teams, they would look different.
No doubt.
I think what ends up happening is it's very clearly highlighted if, you know, $70 million in payroll isn't going to be able to help you. And then you got Draymond and Klay out. I mean, you're looking at $120 million in cap, not doing a whole lot. And that's just not going to win with any team.
Yeah, well, just forget about the money for a second here, because the money's the money.
Well, I'm just talking about how you round out.
Yeah, I know, but the money's the money. Number one, I would tell Andrew Wiggins right now, do not shoot a three. Just do not shoot a three. He's 2 of 21 at home. He's 5 of 37 overall from the three-point line. Do not shoot a three. I'm telling Klay Thompson, unless you're coming off the screen, do not shoot the ball. Now, he only shot it 10 times, but he only made one. And on his road trip, he's shooting 25% from the floor, 23% from the three-point line, and he's averaging 9 points a game during his homestand. Not good enough. And last night was a sad scene watching Klay Thompson. You could see it on his face. Just could not shake Lou Dort. They guarded Klay Thompson like he was Stephen Curry, and he's not even close right now to being Stephen Curry. Not even close. But he was 1 of 10. And he had a play in the third quarter where he was dribbling for the three-point line and just lost the ball going to the rack. In the first quarter, he hit the deck, and it was tough for him to even get up. He's not moving well. He doesn't have the confidence. He looks shook. And that's why whether or not he starts or comes off the bench, he needs players around him that can create off the dribble. And right now, this team only has one, and that's Stephen Curry. You know, and that's why if anybody, like whenever somebody slanders Jordan Poole, well, Jordan Poole is the type of player we need right now. He's exactly who we need right now.
Well, he's not here.
And he's not here. So I don't know how you fix this. So I would tell Klay Thompson, unless you're coming off the screen, do not shoot the ball. Andrew Wiggins, if you're at the three-point line, do not shoot the ball. Go to the rack. Jonathan Kuminga does his best work on the post, on the block, at the elbow. He needs to be there all the time. Want some split action with him in the post. You know, get Curry on the post when he gets back and run the split action with Klay and Wiggins and let Wiggins dive to the rack. We've got to make an adjustment here in how you play the game of basketball. Steve Kerr has to make that adjustment here moving forward.
Well, the adjustment for me is like Moody has to play in that first quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, it like seeing that second quarter unfold and how well he was playing, I don't. Look, Steve's a legend, but there are certain lineups and combinations that are baffling, and that happens throughout an 82-game season. But to go with 4 guards and Moody's not one of them for long stretches,
it's kind of wild to me.
It was triggering, quite honestly. Like the Corey Joseph thing, it's feeling like the Brad Wanamaker thing.
Oh, yeah.
Am I wrong?
It's 1-7 yesterday. Just nothing positive coming from. And he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
It's just not working.
But like, why did you trip? This is my problem. It's like you've invested a draft pick into Moses Moody, and you've had him on the bench for multiple years. If he's not ready to jump Corey Joseph, who anyone could have signed to be their 12th man, like, well, then we drafted the wrong guy. We developed the wrong guy, or you're hanging on to something, or you're doing something wrong here.
Right.
And when I watch Moses Moody, do I think he's, SGA, who's on the other team? No, I do not. but he can help you. And I'd like to see him play more. You know, Trace Jackson-Davis doesn't get a whole lot of run till the very end last night. And look, it's an interesting matchup because they don't play a traditional big. When Chet's out there, he's not your traditional big. But when I watch Trace Jackson-Davis, positive things happen. I've got to carve out minutes for someone like him. He's not a game changer. He's not going to change my franchise, but he plays the game the right way. Yeah. Now, Podziemski, I think there's a little player in there. I don't think he's also a star in the making or any of those things, but there are certain small adjustments when it comes to personnel. Playing Moody in the first quarter, getting Podziemski as part of my rotation, taking Corey Joseph out of my rotation.
Yeah, Corey Joseph played 4 minutes to 17 seconds in the first quarter. He should not be playing ahead of Moses Moody. Not right now. Not right now.
That triggered me.
I mean, I could let Podziemski run the point. You go Moody at the 2, and you call it the day. It just was not. It was not good. I would also tell Looney, shoot the baseline jumper, get to the rack.
You brought that up. You brought that up where he took a shot the other day,
right?
And it was a mid-range shot. And I was like, dude, if you just did that every once in a while, the offense would open up.
Well, maybe he doesn't have the green light. Maybe he just doesn't have the green light to do that. I would do that. He had a double-double yesterday, his first double-double of the game, and it looks like he's still trying to work himself back into shape early part of the season. But at times he's laboring. But you know what? I got 6 of 9, 13 points, and he helped you get back in the game in the second quarter.
Yes.
When they cut it to 7 at the half. They were getting blown out the floor. It was 84-83. 84-83, but late in the third quarter. It looks like, boy, the Warriors are making a run. They're making a run. They're playing spirited basketball. And it felt like OKC was like, okay, let's stop playing around
here. They go on a 10-2 run?
15-2 run right away.
15-2.
15-2 run right away.
Isaiah Joe has destroyed them for multiple occasions. Last night, and I know Fitz, is playing the numbers. He's talking about how he's getting wide open looks.
No doubt.
Like we could talk all about shooting percentage and all this. Like, those aren't your normal contested shots. I look at the Warriors. This is going to sound very simplistic. We say this in football. You got to block and you got to tackle. In the NBA, you got to contest. You got to move laterally. You got to blow by people on offense and get good looks. Well, they're doing none of those 4 things.
No doubt.
On 2 on one end and 2 on the other. And I'm not surprised where they're at.
Yeah. Ben Gordon and Latrell Sprewell each went 9 for 9 from three-point range for most three-pointers made without a miss.
Jeez.
The Warriors' opponent, Terry Porter, did it. He was 7 of 7 back in 1992 for the Blazers.
Yeah.
Isaiah Joe, 7 of 7 yesterday. 7 of 7.
And they got fouled on a three-pointer, a three-point attempt, excuse me.
Isaiah Joe, 7 of 7, 23 points. First player in OKC history to shoot 100% from 3 on 7 or more attempts. So he had his way. Oklahoma City, again, a season high, 19 threes made yesterday, 19 to 32. They shot damn near 60% from 3. And now that's a couple games here against the Warriors where they scored 139 and 128.
They could have scored more.
They could have scored more.
I mean, it was feeling like they were going to drop 170.
Now, when it comes to personnel, Jonathan Kuminga scores a season high 21 points, 6 rebounds. And there's some things he does where it just drives you crazy.
For sure.
It's a little reckless. And
couple
it's
turnovers.
just like, he had 4 yesterday.
At 4?
4. But he goes 4 or 5 from the free throw line. He's one of the few guys who could draw fouls. So what I do? Put him on the block and let him go to work.
Yeah.
To get him away from the perimeter where he gets lost in no man's land, he starts dribbling, and he takes quick threes.
Or
it's not his game right now. Or he crashes into the lane and falls recklessly. And
very
he's on the
predictably. He does this crossover where he tries to smash into you.
Get him on the block. Let him work on the block. He can get to the cup, and he can put pressure on the rim. That's where he thrives. That's where we need to put him. Let's make the subtle adjustment there. With the lineups, Andrew Wiggins, again, do not shoot a 3 right now. He's 5 of 37 from the three-point line to start the season. And yes, he is trying hard. He's trying to get more aggressive. He's fighting through it. But right now, the shot isn't there. Be a little more discerning when it comes to three-point attempts. And then there's Klay Thompson again. And Klay Thompson, there needs to be a conversation with him. I thought he got off to a great start this season. His approach to the game, his sacrificing shots. And then we got home after the Denver game. And ever since you got to Cleveland, you got to Minnesota, and now Oklahoma City. They're putting bigger defenders on him. They're putting more athletic guys, and they're just shutting him down. They don't give him any airspace. He can't move like he used to do it. He can't do anything off the dribble. And now the shot is broken because he's lacking confidence shooting the ball right now. Now, he may bust out of it, and he does have a notorious history of starting slow to start the season. But I thought he got off to a better start this year. Right now, he's not defending at a high level. He can't defend at a high level. He can't move his feet well. He can't get shots off. Lou Dort just had him in the torture chamber, had him cuffed
Lou's
up.
an excellent defender.
And Lou Dort's an excellent defender.
And when you don't
without
have Steph Curry,
they're going to look at Klay Thompson as a number one option.
Yeah, absolutely.
So right now he is struggling, and you could see him wearing it. That's why, with Klay, he's at least coachable. Obviously, Steve Kerr talked to him at the end of the year, and everybody said, man, Klay, stop chucking. He's taking too many shots. Well, he's done that this year.
What about his body language?
Well, he looks like he's lost.
Yeah.
His confidence is shook.
I honestly feel tremendous empathy for him.
Because he's fighting it. And the injuries have sapped a lot of his athleticism. And he wasn't the most athletic guy in the first place, but his moving without the ball, it just looks like he's stuck in mud. When he drives, when he dribbles from the three-point line to the lane, it feels like it takes 9 minutes for him to get there. It's just not there. And so, I know everybody wanted him to play bigger against bigs. That's not working out right now. That's not working out.
I just don't know how you could squeeze the lemon.
I know how you could squeeze a lemon.
How's that?
You need him to play in lineups that create spacing for him.
So who's that with?
That's with Chris Paul.
Okay.
That's with Dario Saric, which I've mentioned all week.
Yeah.
That's with a guy maybe like J.K. cutting to the basket. You've got to help this guy out because right now he can't do it on his own. And if he's number one on the scouting report, that's not good right now.
No.
Not right now while he's in this funk on the homestand. Again, he started off very, very well. And then the last 4 games has just been horrific.
Well, I think we could talk all about physical and everything. I think the one element with Klay that I've noticed the last couple of years is I think he gets in his own head a lot. And I think that he's very up and down emotionally. And I worry about his psyche changing his role and what it's going to be and how he's going to be affected by that. But you have to do something right now. Like you cannot have him and Wiggins because they're not the only reason that the Warriors are losing. There's a lot of reasons. I think that they just don't have a second star. And it's very, very evident right now. But they got to do something. They got to shake it up. You can't have him and Wiggs out there playing the way they're playing together as much. It just doesn't look good.
Yeah, the last 4 games for Klay Thompson, he's shooting 25.6% from the floor.
He's better than that.
27% from 3. He's averaging 8.8 points a game. The last 4 games. 8.8 points a game. Hasn't had a 20-point game, but again, I think, when you look at his game logs here, game 2, 58%, game 3, 58%, game 4, 40%, game 5, 60%. Okay, he slips back down to 35.7. Then he shoots 50% again and 41% again. Before this homestand started, you look at his first, 8 games? First 8 games, Klay Thompson was shooting 46% from the floor, 35% from 3, but he's giving you the 16 points and the 3.5 rebounds. I can live with that. I can live with those type of numbers, and the 3-point percentage will come up. And I do think he'll bust out of his slump, but he needs help around him. So the number one problem to me, despite all that, and we talked about this on the pregame show, and Steve Kerr mentioned it yesterday in his pregame presser, Draymond Green is letting us down again. He's letting us down again. Because without Stephen Curry, now you don't have your defensive leader. Now you don't have your communicator. Now you don't have your leader. And the first 2 games, okay, he has the ankle injury. You set out Denver with personal reasons, that's fine. But this homestand, everything is reared its ugly head. And when you talk the talk, like he talked the talk all season, and you let us down, you're down out against OKC again, Houston, Phoenix, and San Antonio, and now you're coming back against Sacramento, you let the team down again.
Even if Draymond plays yesterday, though, that still doesn't solve, and I'm not exonerating his behavior. You know where I stand on his behavior. That still doesn't solve their number one problem. They don't have a second guy who can get a bucket outside of Steph Curry.
No, they don't.
And like it boils down to that. I'm looking around the league, and I hate doing this because it makes it so simplistic. And I know that basketball is more nuanced than that.
Right.
But like everybody has 2 and 3 stars on every team. Yep. And by star, I mean guys who either are elite two-way players or on one end, the offensive end, can get their own shot. Right? Giannis and Dame, for example. Booker and even KD, who's older and not the same player, but they also have Bradley Beal.
Sure. KD still giving you about 25, 6, and 7.
Exactly.
He's not the same guy.
He can rise up and be able to still get a shot off. So, everybody got triggered when I said that like Draymond and Klay, by resume and by name appeal, yeah, they're stars. But in terms of impact on the court, they're no longer that.
No,
now, Dre's a good player in terms of his defense and things like that, but he's not a star.
No, he's not.
In terms of like, can you get me a bucket when I need it?
Yeah.
Right now, dare I say, Chris Paul feels like their second best player on the team.
Well, and I don't want to say this because 888-957-9570, but I hear a lot of talk about Jordan Poole. What he's doing in Washington. And
so now we
he's
have
struggling.
Buyer's remorse or whatever?
Well, what you're talking about here, having a second scorer. Jordan Poole was that guy. Now, you can say, oh, man, he struggled to this. Here's what I always say. You have to give guys learning lessons in the playoffs. When you enter the postseason for the first time as a young player, whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, there's going to be ups and downs in that first postseason run. Jordan Poole had a lot of ups in that postseason run to win the championship. He had some downs. But you know what? Game 5 and Game 6, the young man showed up against Boston. He did. So all this slander about Jordan Poole and what he was, we know what happened last year. We know why he was the way he was. He ain't dumb. We're all human beings who have common sense, right? We're not dummies. He was ruined. And in the last year, he still gave you 20 points and a guy who could go get you a bucket. Yeah, now, he didn't shoot well. He was a little immature at times, but hell, I was immature at 23 years old. Hell, I'm immature at times at 41 years old. But the guy you're talking about, a guy who could create, a guy who could get a bucket when you need one, well, you know what? He was a guy who could go do that when he was right.
But you're right. You're assessing him properly. But they rode with Draymond.
They picked Draymond Green.
I mean, they rode with Draymond. And look, they needed to keep the slot with Draymond financially to be able to get wiggle room because once you're up and over the cap, it's very difficult. Like if Dre had walked in free agency, you basically lose him for nothing. Slot, no doubt. Okay? But now you're stuck in a situation where you got a guy on your team who's a depreciating player. Warrior fans thought everybody was going to age like Steph. Steph's the outlier.
No, he is.
Right? Like, and I look at LeBron James. Everybody was mad at LeBron James. LeBron got to the Lakers, looked around and was like, yeah, I need a young thoroughbred to go alongside with me. He did the same thing when he was up in Cleveland, pairing up with Kyrie. And he went and he demanded and gutted the entire team to get Anthony Davis. And all these other role players can switch and change. Everyone who's a Warrior fan, you guys were all saying we ride and die with the core.
Not all of them. Well,
I think a large segment. And now we're here, and the parts of the core 3 are starting to deteriorate. Yep. And it's like this is why the difficult, tough decisions of moving off players. You can't have it both ways. No. You can't have loyalty to all the players and the dynasty and try to continue to win because financially it's so difficult to get everything under that threshold. They're in a really tough spot.
No doubt.
They're just in a really tough spot.
No doubt.
I don't see how a trade saves them this year.